Hey guys, this is Khan TDK Mr. So Real, and recently I got a comment on my Got Tools video basically saying that my suggestions for tools were bullshit. So the guy basically said this was no help at all. You can get tools from DZ5 in the safe room. You can just buy the cheapest mods and deconstruct them. You can get electronics from DZ4 in the safe room. Rinse and repeat. You buy them, you deconstruct them. And if you're low on DZ credits, then you can just pick up the purple caches and boom, you got your DZ money. And then he went on to say that my video was garbage. Sorry. So after reading this comment, I tried to go in and do the numbers and check it out and see if it was really a better way or a faster way for getting the materials for crafting. And I will say that it is a decent way if you like to hang out in the dark zone. But if you're a solo player and you really don't like being in the DZ all that much, then it may not be the best way to do it, because as we all know, if you go into the dark zone and you die, then you lose DZ funds, and you lose quite a few DZ funds if you die. I think you lose like a few thousand if you do. And the price of one of these tools or the mods basically is somewhere in the range of 11,000 to 8,500. And let's say you die once or twice, then it's putting you farther and further back. And that's kind of the reason why I really don't suggest this method, is because DZ funds, number one, are not that easy to get. Yeah, you can get some from purple caches. Yeah, you get a few hundred for killing people, people being the NPCs. If you kill rogues and stuff like that, yeah, you get more. If you go rogue and stay alive, you get more. But the thing is, a lot of people play solo. A lot of people have lost their friends playing this game, and it really kind of sucks. One guy who follows this channel, even though he's pretty much said that he's given up on the game, Jeremy, he said that no other game can erase 1 to 2 hours of work like that. Spending an hour or two getting enough items to extract just to get shot in the back by a two-man squad, just so they can steal your shit, basically it's bullshit. And that kind of stuff happens all the time. So when I made the first video, I really made it about suggestions that I thought would kind of put people on the same page for things that they would like to see for the developers to kind of implement. And hopefully the devs would see this video or hear about it and then maybe consider some of those suggestions. And then at the end of the video, I gave some suggestions of getting some yellows and stuff from the dark zone and then breaking them down and deconstructing them and taking those parts. Now in today's video, what I want to do is go over some of those suggestions, look at the suggestion that was given by the guy, and then I wanted to kind of give you some more of my comments on what I thought was the best way to do it, so that you don't have to rely only on dark zone funds. If you want to mix and match all of this stuff together, all of the things together will get you the tools and the mods the fastest when you combine everything. But if you really don't want to spend your dark zone funds, which I don't really recommend as a primary source, then you have other alternative methods. So let's take a look at that and get started on today's video about tools. Alright, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, if you haven't seen the Got Tools video, you can click on here and you can check the link in the description and check it out and hear my suggestions for what I hope or think the game developers should do in terms of helping us to get more tools and more electronics. A lot of that video was suggestions, but towards the end I did talk about some guaranteed methods that you could use to get tools, namely going into the dark zone and opening what I said in the video was purple chests. But today we're going to talk about all of the chests that you should really be looking out for. Alright, so let's get started. So to start off, the chests are really important, and really and truly the DZ chest especially the ones that you use the dark zone keys for, should be your best friend. Inside of those chests are a guaranteed yellow weapon or armor piece, plus a mod or an attachment. Now, the attachment or the mod you can break down for 1 gold tool or 1 gold electronics. Now, this is really good because you basically get a gold, and for a blue, if you get like blue electronics or blue tools, it takes about 15 of those to create 1 yellow. So it's in your best interest to try to farm the yellow or the DZ key chests so that you can get as many of these types of items as possible. Now, the other thing is that purples drop quite often in the dark zone, so you should really try to prioritize getting all of the tools and mods that fall and just kind of keep them in your stash. Along with that, when you get a whole laundry list of them and you can extract, you should extract those and get them out, and then break all of those types of things down so that you can start getting ready to change the purples into golds and take the golds and just keep them in your stash. Now, one thing that I didn't mention in the last video that is a pretty good suggestion, it takes a little bit of time, but it's not bad nonetheless, that you can do is all of the materials and gears and weapons and all of that stuff that you don't need, particularly the weapons and the gear pieces, is you can take those, the golds and the greens, and extract them and then sell them. As soon as you get them, you can go to a checkpoint, you can take them out of the stash, and you can sell them to the vendor and get credits. Now, this doesn't give you DZ credits, unfortunately, and that's kind of the flaw with the suggestion that we got earlier, because the only way that you can get DZ funds is through opening purple caches and from killing enemies and hoping for some kind of drop. And then the amount of money that you actually get from killing those enemies isn't really that great and takes quite a while to farm. Now, the DZ purple chests do give you a little bit of funds, but as we will be able to see, it still costs quite a bit to buy one of the gold or the purple attachments or mods from the vendors. Now, at some point, you will be picking up lots of gold items and green items, and the majority of them will end up being garbage. Now, if you don't have a lot of weapon parts, or if you don't have a lot of fabric, you can break that stuff down and put that in your stash. If you do have a nice healthy amount, then what you can do, as I said, is sell them, get the money, and then use that money to buy purple attachments or mods from the vendors in your base. The other really good thing about this is that you can use this same method to stack up more money for recalibration. And this is kind of why I think this method is really good. You save your DZ funds, you get a nice amount of money that you can use for either buying materials or for recalibration. This is kind of a hand-in-hand, really good method for stacking up money. And then when that I don't know, blueprint or some kind of weapon maybe goes to the DZ, you can save that DZ money and then use that towards getting something you like. So in summary, running around the PvE area and opening the little chest to get tools and electronics is the safest and slowest way of getting tools. If you are a solo player, going into the DZ in the lower levels, opening the chest and getting the yellow items out of the chest and breaking them down after the extraction is one of the easier ways of doing it. Also, taking some of the unwanted weapons and items that you have and selling them to buy purples, which will give you 2 blue items, and that will easily be changed into golds. Or if you live in the dark zone and you love to play in the dark zone and you have a crew of people and you guys run around and wreak havoc and kill everything in sight, and getting DZ funds is easy for you, and you're probably not a solo player, you might be, but if you're not, then buying the gold items from the vendors in the Dark Zone may be a good bet for you, but you will eat through your Dark Zone funds quite rapidly, so be careful about that. I really hope today's video helped you guys out into figuring out what is the best way for you or for your group, or if you're a solo player, to getting tools. I know that tools are a pain in the ass right now. They are the total bottleneck from crafting, and with the upcoming blueprints and upcoming weapons that are going to put these 204 weapons to shame, having a nice stock of these crafting materials is a good idea. So if you have not started farming and trying to get as many crafting materials as you can yet, if you plan on continuing to play the game, I suggest you do. If you like this video, remember to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. If you have any other suggestions for tools, let me know. Leave it in the comments. And until the next video, this is Khan, TDK, Mr. So Real. I'm out.